Hello. If you're new to my channel and you're not aware, I used to live in London for 2 years. 2 whole years. And I moved back to Australia, what feels like a couple of months ago, and I just realized is in fact 2 years ago. And I feel like I've done absolutely nothing. But you know what? Last year was 2020, so pretty much nothing counted last year, so I've really only been back for 1 year. And pretty much the entire time that I lived in London, I wanted to do a video comparing Australia to the UK. And the entire time, 2 years that I had to do it, I just put it off because I wanted it to be... Mwah. Mwah? How do you do a chef kiss? I wanted it to be chef kiss perfect. But there's no such thing as perfect. Fuck perfectionism. There is no right time, so we're doing it right now. Right now is the right time. It's happening. These are just dumb little differences that have essentially no bearing or impact on anything, but if you think I'm not gonna make a big deal and get worked up about it, you got another thing coming. First up, discounts in supermarkets. In Australia, if something is getting close to its use by date, like it's going off tomorrow, supermarkets will heavily discount it because they realize, well, it's probably better to sell it now at a reduced price than to throw it in the bin tomorrow because we can't sell it because it's expired. It's really normal for the supermarkets here to do 25 to 90% off something that's close to its expiry date. But you don't often see something that has a huge discount, those 80s and 90%, because it will get sold earlier when it's at a lesser discount. In the UK, it's more like, we've got 20 packets of sushi. They all expire tomorrow. It's 10 p.m, we close in an hour, we can probably take 15 pence off. That'll get them out the door. What's that? Oh, those 15 sandwiches expired yesterday. You know what, let's take 27 pence off those. Excuse the accent, I haven't done a British accent in a while. I'm a bit rusty. Anyway, while we're on the topic of supermarkets, look at this.
So much fruit and veg in the UK comes pre-packaged in plastic wrap. There were literally not any avocados available that weren't in plastic wrap.
For some reason, the UK supermarkets really want to wrap all their fresh produce in soft plastic wrap. Maybe it keeps them fresher, I don't know, but the fact of the matter is it's probably terrible for the environment. In Australia, sure, some things are wrapped in plastic, but it's usually groups of items, like if you want to get a pack of apples. Pretty much everything is available individually without any sort of plastic wrap on it, unless you put it in a bag. My next difference is wording, the way that we speak. When I first moved to the UK, like many Australians, I had a bit of a potty mouth. And my brother and sister-in-law, who'd been living there for about a year, said to me, you really need to put a lid on that. Maybe don't drop the C-bomb so much because the Brits don't appreciate it very much. Australians, in general, are fairly direct, I think. We don't use a lot of fancy words. Observe the following. Now compare it to the UK. See what I mean? If you're on a train in Australia and it's approaching a stop, it's pretty much like, next stop Flinders Street. Whereas in the UK, it's like, this is Green Park. Alight here for Buckingham Palace, Green Park, Waterstones, and something else British. You know what, let's stay on the topic of public transport. In Melbourne, we have these things. This is a tram. Not every city in Australia has these, but Melbourne does. When I'm inside of a tram, I think they're fantastic. When I'm inside my car, stuck behind a tram doing 20 kilometers under the speed limit, not so fantastic. The UK, or at least London, does not have trams, which I think is a smart move. Instead, they have double-decker buses. And somehow I didn't get any proper footage of one, but here's one in the background behind me and my friend. Good enough. And then we have trains. I'll tell you what, if London ruined one thing for me here in Melbourne, it's taking the train, because the tube spoiled me. In London, waiting for the tube is like
3 minutes? Ugh.
Whereas in Melbourne,
Only 11 minutes? Fuck yeah.
If you just miss your train in Melbourne, chances are you're going to be incredibly late to whatever you were trying to get to on time. If you miss the train in London, you just wait a minute or two for the next one, which seems like something a lot of British people hate to do. Like, people will pelt toward a train that's doors are closing when there's another one a minute away, or they will cram in to a tube that is absolutely packed when there's another one 1 minute away. Often in the morning, I wouldn't get on a tube because it was absolutely just packed full of people, like nose to nose. So instead, I'd wait for the next one, a minute or two away, and it would be half empty and I'd get a seat. So instead of being packed in on all sides, breathing in other people's breath and body odor for 15 minutes, I would instead get to sit down and read a book. The only difference is I was 1 minute later than if I got on the first one. Coffee! I could make a whole video about coffee, but I'm not going to. I will, however, talk about flat whites. For those of you who don't know, it's kind of like a latte with less nonsense. Essentially, most people agree that they originated in either Australia or New Zealand. But I did see a sign at a Starbucks in London saying, London, birthplace of the flat white. And then said that flat whites only came in an extra small size with double shots. And I'm like, no? Anyway, a lot of places in London will only serve a flat white in one size. Small. Flat white in London. Tiny. Whereas in Australia, you can get a flat white in any size. And this is a large flat white in Australia. Also in London, a standard flat white would cost me around about £3, £3.50. That's about $6 Australian for a regular sized coffee. I even paid up to £4 for a soy flat white. Crazy. Whereas in Australia, it costs $5.40 or approximately £3. Bathrooms. For some reason, a lot of bathrooms in the UK don't have exhaust fans or windows, and I just cannot figure that out. Shush! In the UK, you have a shower and the bathroom looks like this. Surely this is not ideal. The only thing that this is ideal for is mold, and no one wants mold. Unless it's in fancy cheese. A lot of the buildings in the UK are obviously a lot older than a lot of the buildings here in Australia, but you'd think they would have figured out that exhaust fans exist by now, right? So why don't they use them? I don't know why I never asked a British person this. Anyway, in Australia, also, in the UK, the light switch is often on the outside of the bathroom, which I don't know if I'm making up, but I think it was a safety thing to do with electricity, which might make sense if they don't have any exhaust fans and the walls are dripping with water, but get exhaust fans. So in the UK, you can be sitting on the loo whereas in Australia, you can often sit on the loo and do that yourself. And furthermore, yes, I'm not done with bathrooms yet. It seems like each shower has a different weird system and it gets very confusing very fast. I mean, take a look at this. This is one of the most common ones that I saw in London, and it's weird. And the water pressure was always terrible. In Australia, we generally keep it pretty simple. We usually have a variant of this, or some sort of the classic hot-cold twist taps. Done. No one doesn't know how to use those. I actually have a bunch more on this topic. I have a lot to say about British bathrooms, but I'm gonna save it for part 2 because you guys have had enough for now. I decree... coffee! I decree... coffee! Most of those cutaways I recorded a few years ago when I was living in England. So if you noticed that I looked a bit different or if my accent was all over the place, that's why. Also, you may have noticed in present day, new surroundings. Well, an unfamiliar blank wall and a bit of a bookcase. That's because lockdown is over and I'm back living in my old place in Melbourne, but it has been newly renovated, at least partly. It's got new carpet, new paint, I got a new layout, but before I can do a full room reveal / tour, I still need to get a couple of things like curtains. So don't worry, there will be a tour, but you'll have to wait. Also, for the very first, but undoubtedly not the last time, I completely missed my upload schedule. Like, I've been late before, but I've never just not uploaded anything since I started this channel. But I was moving in here over Christmas, then I didn't upload anything. But a big thank you to everyone who subscribed in my absence anyway. I'm usually much more reliable and consistent. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm not in any way shitting on either of these countries. I absolutely love the UK and I love Australia and I love living in both, and I'd love to go back and live in the UK a little bit more at some point in the future. These are just things that really jumped out at me while I lived in the UK and again when I moved back to Australia. If you can think of anything that I failed to mention or any comparisons between your own country and another country, leave them down in the comments below. Subscribe, watch another video. See you next time. Cheerio.